What Son of Crime GT? Oh, come on.
Love Sun Crump. Logan Geigen. Yeah. I got to whoop this guy's ass. I'm playing Tekken 7 right now. I see you do this collector of the day thing, Crom. It's interesting, bro. I think it's fun, though. It's 2 rounds. I can't let the guy have 1,700 points. Not my 1,700. You have someone else's 1,700 fan. Give me 1,900. That's a big win. I was watching the World Series with the rap stuff, and Ice Cube versus Fat Joe, and Fat Joe. They had a good song for Fat Joe, but they should have done Big Pun's 187, in my opinion, and it'd have been better. If they're gonna do the New York, New York, whatever the fuck, you gotta have Jadakiss. Because his verse is the best. But I mean, Ice Cube shouldn't be that hard to beat. I would have used Jadakiss. Obviously, Jay-Z ain't gonna come, but That's okay if you don't. You don't need Jay-Z to beat fucking dumbass Ice Cube. I should have blocked that, bro. This is how they get me. Damn it. One more round, bitch. There we go. That's three. So, oh, it looks like he ran away. Maybe that's all the Tekken we get tonight. Yeah. Those two 1900. That's the most points you can get in a battle is 1900. Those hurt him a lot. He shouldn't have beat me on some bullshit. I want to keep beating you. All right. Put the Tekken down. Do a little comic book content. So, I've noticed that the medium and comic book YouTube is, I think that the strongest point of it at this point is not even the comic books, it's the culture. So the movies, the cons, the TV shows, the actors. People talk about that shit. And I don't give a fuck about any of it. My favorite part of the comic book hobby is the books. Stories are okay, but the books is what I like the most. And I don't feel like that's the most popular part of the hobby anymore. I think people talking about TV shows and all the shit around the hobby is what people like to do now. That's just silly as fuck to me, but whatever. That's what y'all like. What y'all think? Have you noticed that, or am I the only one? I don't know if it ever was about the books. It might have been the pop culture the whole time. I just never noticed it as much. I don't know. People rather talk about movies and TV shows and fucking omnis and statues and toys. It's fucking weird, bro. Video games, statues, toys, movies, and TV shows in the comic book community. It's amazing. At the shows, I like comics as well. I love to want a book and then finally get it. It's like hunting. Yeah, bro. That's my favorite thing. Is working up to a goal and getting your book. Bro, ain't nothing like it. And so many channels these days. They know every actor and actress in Hollywood. They know every TV show. All the writers and creators. And they don't care about getting books. It's just like, I'm in a different world, and I'm glad to be where I am. Like, $6 million man. Yeah. Well, it ain't that way no more, dude. Everything's comic books. People thought that Hollywood would make fun of superhero actors. It was almost a joke to be a superhero at one point in one of those movies. And not anymore, bro. I've heard Martin Scorsese kind of make fun of them. This bacon and eggs pretty good. Maybe one more piece. I'm gonna show some books. I'm gonna get on out of here. Now, it's okay to like right now, what I'm doing. You don't have to just focus on getting books. Like I'm working on supplies and shit right now. I need to get some new bags for my slabs. I'd like to get a bunch of Mylar slab bags. It'll cost me like 50 or 60 bucks. I need about 4 more short boxes. But it's okay to like not have to get a book all the time. You can focus on other shit and then talk about TV shows and actors and actresses. But ultimately, like none of that shit really persuade. Only thing that shit does is change the way I might sell some books. Is the way the pop culture is working. I'm gonna retitle this. I didn't know I was going to talk about. What up, Birdman? Have a little lid on top. You can hang them on. I think those are called. You're talking about the BCWs? Or are you talking about the magnet ones? I got a bunch of BCWs. They're right here. You want something, bud? I don't like breakfast at night because it's a little heavy. It's very greasy. Melody does not what Melody does. So, I'm gonna show you a couple books I'm looking at. I'm gonna buy. Hopefully. So I'm a big Kirby guy, right? Kirby's my favorite. Kirby Crackle. Hunger Dogs. Beautiful Kirby art, magazine style. I don't like the top of it. I wish the whole book looked like that. But that book's surprisingly expensive. And then this one, I've had this book before. The condition on this book is crazy, though. It's like a 9.2 to 9.6. The edges. I have to see the back cover on it, but they're 20 a piece. And I spent $10 on new books today, right? And the new books ain't worth shit. At least these two books right here, they'll be worth something later. So I'm going to for sure grab those if they're still around. My antique shop I went to today, they had a like a girl Star Trek outfit. They had some comics, not a bunch of cool comics, but they had some. They probably had some toys. I've been chilling on looking at toys. I should probably check them out a little stronger, just in case they have something cool. But yeah, I just been noticing the trends, and people like to talk about shit that they don't even have. Like, it's more of a personality thing than a fucking a comic book collecting thing. It's just who do you want to watch and shit, and you don't even got to talk about comics. It's just who are you into watching on YouTube, I guess. But it don't seem to be like a lot of like Mon Comics. Like he has goals and shit. Like he gets books that he wants, or whatever. I think Milk or Lunch Money Comics, he kind of goes after gold books and shit. I appreciate those kind of channels a little bit more because I feel like they have a direction, and you can watch them. Even what's his name? Fucking Rob's Fat Stacks. He kind of likes to get books. I'm not sure, but a bunch of channels were sent them to do reviews on. I'm sure, but a bunch of channels were sent them to do reviews on. Like who? Oh, you're talking about the shit people were. Yeah. You're probably talking about the ones that like Sticky Goose has, like they just show regular books. I don't have any of those. Yeah, I don't know what they're called. It seemed to be okay. I don't know much about them though. Comic Shells, is that what it's called? I'm not sure. But where was I? Oh yeah, like channels that have a direction. Like I just appreciate that, even if you don't have direction and you just enjoy getting books or whatever. But it's turned into a bunch of people that they like comics, but they don't have like a particular thing they're going after. They just kind of buy whatever is fancy to them. It don't have to be valuable. And that's cool too. Maybe I feel like you're looking at it like a broke person way. When you're broke, you like to have things that are worth money. But when you actually have money, you don't care what you get. So I'm more of the broke bitch. If you really think about it. I can't just be like, oh, I just want to collect fucking Justice League or World's Finest or whatever. But because I'm so frugal and I've always just been poor, it's like having things that are nice. That's my goal. So I think I'm looking at it in the poor person's perspective, more than. And then I see people that actually have money and or whatever, and they just buy whatever they want. That's more of the rich person way. See, that's the way you gotta think. Like a rich person, ain't gonna buy a Bugatti and a fucking Rolex. They're completely happy with wearing normal clothes and driving a normal car because they've had money before. I've never had anything nice, so I want to have the nicest shit I can get. I'm kind of like a poor person wants to have Jordans and fucking Gucci and all that shit. Like rich people don't care about that shit. Now there are rich people that get that shit but they don't have to care about it as much. You know, it's just a little fucking thing to them. To me, it's like a big deal. Like I have Direction OCD and stuff. I had to get all the Conan, and now I'm reading a freaking 20 issue. I still have hundreds to go. Lots of laughs. Yeah. You may have money someday. As we get older, we tend to make more money. When I was young, it was food stamps and poor. I mean, I've had money before, and this is probably the best I've been in a long time, but I'm just trying to look at it in a perspective point of view. Like, if I was to sell all of my shit, right? All of my books, I didn't have anything left. I started off with nothing, and people were accepting. I feel like they'd still accept you now. So this community is just that way. You don't get a status symbol because you get a cool book. I like to have cool shit because when I see somebody that it may be a little easier for them to get the shit. It might take me a little longer, but it's nice to have things that like it may be easy for another person to get, you know. So even though it takes me a little longer, I'm glad I have it. Like you could go to my channel 5 years ago and I didn't have shit, right? And I'd say at this point I have a pretty average collection. I'm in the maybe 25 percentile of dopest collections. You know, I don't think I'm at 50% because there's a lot of collectors that just don't focus and want to get the American nostalgia keys like I do. They're completely happy with talking about Agatha and She-Hulk and Something's Killing the Children and shit like that. You know, like me, I want the Kirby culture, American history. Right now, I'm kind of a Jack Burnley guy. I like, Simon and Kirby and Gil Kane, Neil Adams, all that shit. I've always liked that shit, but I'm learning a couple new ones as I go. What up, Spidey? So maybe if you always think if you get another book, you're going to be able to chill and relax or whatever. And it don't ever seem to work that way. Like the bigger the book you get, you're just like, oh, it'd be nice to get another bigger one, you know? So, shush. When is the biggest book ever enough? You see what I'm saying? Like, I've got enough books now to where I should be able to say I don't need no more. If I didn't want to get this X-Men one, I don't have to get it. I got plenty of cool shit. That means I'd be able to keep a lot of cool shit I wouldn't have to sell to get it. But the competitor in me is like I want to catch up to the guys I look up to. I look up to a certain few collectors, you know, like my boy Doc, my boy Alan, Knights of Old, Comic Books NYC, a certain level, you know, D Runk and 84. I look up to these guys. You know, I when I started, they all had tremendous collections. You know, Who Dat has a great collection. I look up to those guys. I want to fucking catch up, or I want to be on par with something like that kind of collection. You know, it's not easy. You got to have a lot of discipline. Now I could sit here and talk about pop culture shit, but I just don't like the TV shows and movies and the omnis and the statues and the video games and the news about them. I literally want the fucking Grail books. I want the X-Men ones, the FF ones. So that's all I fucking talk about. I get obsessed. People get tired of hearing me. Last year it was Hulk 181. I talked about Hulk 181 until people were sick of hearing about it. They're tired of hearing about Hulk 181. I even got a little clip I'll show y'all. This is how obnoxious I was with Hulk 181.
I used to think you were just about the most perfect person in the world. You're just a slut.
Now, people say there's a lot of copies of Hulk 181. You know how fucking ridiculous Hulk 181 is? Do you guys, I mean, I know you guys know, but to go after one and get one, you know how fucking ridiculous Hulk 181, bro. Hulk 181 is so fucking ridiculous. Okay, it's a Bronze Age book. Let's start there. Bronze Age book. Now, you learn some things about Bronze Age books as you collect them. You would assume GSX will be the biggest Bronze Age book. It's not. The grading, the CGC companies have turned books into bigger things than what they should be, in my opinion. So the biggest, entry price level and 9.8 are two different things, first of all. So the biggest overall Bronze Age book, just because there's not that many at 9.8, is Spotlight 5. Is Ghost Rider as important as a GSX, House 98, ASM 129, a Hulk 181? Fuck no. It's nowhere near as important. But there's less 9.8s. Is it easier to get an entry level Spotlight 5? Yes. Those are not that tough to get. It's harder to get a GSX at entry level. It's harder to get a Hulk 181. Hulk 181 is the toughest entry level Bronze Age book to get. Okay? If you just want a complete fucking copy of that book, you're talking 1,600 to 2,000 for like a fucking 2.0. Okay? Like a 2.0, bro. Now, after you pay the entry price amount, you could get a decent grade. 2,500, you get you like a 3.0. 3,000, you might get you a 3.5, a fucking 4.0. But I just want the book. I don't care about it being, if I gotta pay twice as much for it to be a little less crumbled up, I'm usually not going to pay fucking $4,000 for a book, unless I have to. I didn't have to, so I didn't, So 181 is stupid ridiculous, bro. And I learned that, and what came of that, you still want a Spotlight 5 badly? Yeah, I'm not that fucking worked up about it myself. I'll get one eventually. What up, who dat? I'm all right. Just chilling. I was talking about pulp culture versus comic book in the community. How seems like more YouTubers just talk about movies, TV shows, cons, the pop culture aspect. That's all fucking people talk about, and they love it. That's all they want to talk about. Blah 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 blah. Nobody has direction anymore. Nobody wants to talk about the books they want. Nobody wants to talk about being happy about getting a gold book. You guys are gonna hear me talk about X-Men 1 from a month ago until the middle of next year, probably. If I get it. That's because I care about these books. I care about these fucking books more than anything. These books is what is most important to me. I came here because of the love of the books. Not about Robert Downey Jr., not about Thanos, not about Iron Man, not about Avengers. The fucking books drive me crazy. I dream about these books. I daydream about these books. I plot and scheme about these books. I scratch and I claw for these fucking books. Okay? So instead of spending 2K or 1800, I seen some for 1400 plus tags and it being 1700, whatever the fuck, I had to pounce on it when I could. So I spent $1,100 on a Hawk 181. Now people may think that they're too fucking bougie to have one without a value stamp. Well, here's a little shocker for you. I got a Hawk 180. It don't have a stamp either, dude. So I got a matching set. I got 180 and 181, no stamps. All right. If that little stamp that ain't connected to a fucking story, not one panel of the story, mind you, the whole story's there. If it would cut out any of that story, it would not have been an option. Since it's just a sole ad and a stamp, I decided, fuck that stamp. I'm going to save $1,000. And that's what I did. Now, a person without a Hawk 181, if they found that in the wild, you know how happy they would be? They'd be about $1,100 happy. They'd be pretty fucking happy, And saying that, the market for a book without a stamp like that, I feel like it's going to go up because that's the real entry price level, in my opinion. You could say the complete $2,000 ones are, and there'll be people that'll say, oh, GPA is 1,200. GPA is 900 on a 1.0. Good luck finding them. I looked for 6 months. I seen a couple that sold cheaper than that. Sold. It's hard to believe anything, but anyways, like I was saying, I started this collection and started getting my PC to where I'd like to have and keep up with people, and people may think that that's being shallow. For me, I don't think so, dude. I think that when you don't have much and you want to have nice things, you try to have nice things. I want to be able to my family to have cool things and have just as nice a collection as anybody else. So what I have isn't that special, but I try, dude. They got a Hawk 181 in stack 5.0 for 1,900, and it's only missing that's what I'm saying, yeah. 1999 without being graded. Yeah, I got a raw copy and it's completely fine. It looks just like every other 181. I could get it slabbed and have a blue label and probably get like a fucking 2.0 or 3.0. Now it would say the stamp's missing, and it probably would be a 4 or 5 with the fucking green label, but you can get a blue label slab if you want. It's just an aesthetic. Like, it don't mean anything. That's why I like raw books. I don't really give a shit. But yeah, man. I'm looking for a restored raw X-Men 1 would be the most ideal opportunity for me, around $3,000. I would like a 1.0 restored collar touch, married. I don't give a shit as long as it's all there. As long as it ain't trimmed, can't be trimmed, and it can't have any of the story missing. It can't have a fucking page missing once you go to $3,000. I wouldn't care if it was restored. It don't have to be raw. It could be slabbed, but that's like my goal. There's like $3,000 for that. Avengers. I got an Avengers 1. I would just like to be able to hold the Avengers 1 and X-Men 1 together. Now, after I get that, you guys would probably think, oh, what's the next big book you would want? If I'm going big, so I can go small after, okay? I'm going big because I feel like the market's going to switch up on me. I better get this big one quick, and then I'm going to go after some smaller shit. So there's been 3 books that are on my short list. They're doozies, but they're the 3 I want. So X-Men 1's next. It's going to be the toughest one. But after that, it's going to be Showcase 22. Okay. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Daredevil 1. If I could get those 3 with the X-Men 1 and the bro, I'm fucking good. I'm fucking good. Then I can take my time with the rest of everything else. But just to get, if I could get the X-Men 1, keep everything I got, get the Showcase 22 and the Daredevil, bro, my collection would be crazy. It'd be crazy. It'd be out of this fucking world crazy. It's gonna be hard. But I think I'm almost ready for the X-Men 1, guys. Like, by the time January comes, I'm gonna make some serious fucking moves. I got about $1,000 worth of stock up. I know for sure. I might only make like 800 out of it. I at least got that. And I'm gonna have to knock 2,000 on my PC, but I think I can fucking do it right now. I'm gonna keep stocking. That's the key. You gotta get your fucking resources full before you make a big move, right? So I'm gonna get about a short box of fucking bangers and about 600 fucking minor keys, and I'm gonna give this month. And you know what I've learned is what I usually do when I stock up like this is I'll count myself short, and by the end of it, I'll only need about half the shit I thought I needed, and then I'll have a bunch of shit left over. Because last year, when I went after 181, it didn't take as much shit as I thought it would. And I had a lot. I still have stock from the 181 shit. So I'm going to be using some of that. And maybe it'll make it easier for me to get it. Like, $1,000 books ain't the fucking hardest. It's the fucking ones that are around 2K to give me the big issues. What it do, Comic Guru? Good to see you, Razor. I'd rather buy a nice copy without being... Yeah, me too, bro. I think we're on the same level, Crom. I'm a raw book collector, dude. Like, it's getting harder to find raw books. Everything's graded now. Especially big books. You're lucky if you can find a raw book, and then getting it at a raw book price, dude, forget about it. Like, it's so hard anymore. And people think I'm kidding when I say I like raw books more. I'm not joking. Like, I buy slabs just because that's the only way you can get them, is get a fucking slab book. What up, bloke? Good to see you.
Well, you were talking about raw books and stuff. I have some questions. I was going to type it in the thing, but I figured I'm working on some stuff anyway. So
yeah.
Like, is slab worth it? I mean, is that like certain items, or like, I remember when I was younger, when I picked up these, like, you know, the Jim Lee X-Men, the Death of Superman, those kind of stuff. You know how the polybags and all the other crazy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, is it worth it for me to, like, I know there's like 3 million copies are made or something like that. Is it worth it to slab these things or keep them raw, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, with modern books, unless this is like my threshold for a modern book, but I'm not really the best person to ask because I've never slabbed anything. But in my opinion, like, if it doesn't grade up to being worth like $300 worth of value, like, you could probably sell it and make out pretty good without having to slab it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, once in a while, I like to go through them. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I slab them, like, do I, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those where it's, I don't know, man. Slabbing is a new thing for me, right? So it's just like a lot of the, like, for example, any of the sketch cover I do, a lot of the time they ask for, what do you call it? The creative forms that I fill out for them. So then because before I was sending this stuff out myself, then a lot of the people that commission me is like, "Where's my book? Where's my book? Where's my book?" It's at CGG, right? And so now I just don't have to deal with it. I just fill out the form and just say, "Hey, send it in yourself," right?
Nice.
So, anyways, like I got like some old classics, like I don't know if it's old, like Wonder Woman #1, the George Perez one.
Okay.
Like those kind of things. So I'm trying to figure out like
I like that book. I think if that's like a near mint, that's the thing though, is if it's not super old, like they almost gotta be damn near perfect to even be worth your time, like it's okay to slab like a book that's only worth $100 too if you just want to keep it. But
yeah, but like I'm looking at the pricing. It's slabbing a book for $100. That's shipping cost and the price of the slabs and all this other stuff, right?
Right.
Like most of the, like, for example, the Wonder Woman #1 was, I was just tabling at a I think for Niagara Falls Comic-Con when before George Perez passed away. I mean, literally, I'm just sitting next to like his table, right? And I figured, I was like, I knew he was going to be there, but I didn't know they're going to put me right next to him. So I got like a bunch of the Wonder Woman books signed, right, by him. And it's like, is it worth it to slab it? Because it's it's like I got the book and it's mine, and I got it signed. I'm sitting next to the guy, right? like I think I want to keep it raw. That's the only thing, and I'm just like debating: is it even worth it? That's the only thing, right?
Right. My buddy Bleecker does a show called Slab or Not to Slab, and
I saw that.
Yeah, he thinks about this topic a lot. I'm a big no slab guy, but I think that Bleeker's a little bit more into slabbing than I am actually. So, what do you think, Bleak, with these modern books?
Depends on the modern book, man. It really does. I don't think that there's any reason to slab like a variant cover or like a one in fucking whatever. I think that's just silly, unless you're trying to sell it, I guess. But
yeah, like
if it's a nice old key, yeah.
A lot of the stuff is like I don't plan to sell it. That's the thing, right?
And that's it. If you're not planning on selling it, you don't really need to worry about it.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you are planning on selling something, it's a lot easier to do when it's slabbed. At least there's no argument of what it is.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
My buddy D-Runk, he's currently getting all of the Death of Superman issues, and he's getting them all in 9/8.
Yeah.
And a lot of them books are only worth like $50 at a 9/8, but it's still fun to do, like do what you want,
Yeah. He likes slabbing though. D-Runk loves the slabs.
Yeah.
But he's a 9/8 collector. That's the only slab he'll get, unless it's like X-Men. The X-Men 1, he'll make a dive for like a 4.5 or something.
Yeah. 4.0 will do for an X-Men. It's like, bro, a little too hard on them grades, but fucking Bleeker's like that a little bit too. He only wants 8.0s of big books,
Yeah.
8.0s, 8.5s. Depending, again, I have different things that I'll accept for different ages of books. Silver Age, I generally go 5.5 to a 6.5. I like Bronze Age, I do 8 to 8.5. Modern, I think it has to be 9.6 or better.
I was just talking about tonight, like I've noticed like a bunch of the comic book channels seem to talk about the pop culture more than actual comic books. Like me, like I love comic books. I'm here for the comics. You start talking about TV shows and movies and shit like that, I kind of don't give a fuck. But it seems like that's what's kind of the popular thing to talk about. Like, okay, for example, since I got a little panel going, I'll run this by y'all. Like Jim Mint, he gets about 150 people in his chat, right?
Yeah.
He collects fucking statues.
People like that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking collects statues like Jim Mint collects statues. First of all,
Jim Mint has some fucking expensive statues, bro.
I can't remember. I can't remember the last time Jim Mint brought up, man, this comic book I saw at the shop I really want to get. I don't think I've heard him say that in 3 years.
Really?
Have you?
I don't really pay too much attention to Jim Mint.
But
not that I
no,
don't like them, I just don't really pay.
no, I like Jim Mint. I'm just saying, like, that seems to be what's kind of popular. Like, Jim Mint talks about the movies, he talks about the TV shows, he draws a crowd, people get into it, the chat, they talk a lot about it.
Well,
I
makes
don't know
sense
nothing
because
about
that's where all the speculation is all in the movies and all in the
Mhm.
shows and
Mhm.
what's going on, and you know that's where you get all your fucking Doom spec and your Null spec and all that bullshit.
Yeah, and that's not to say Jim Mint didn't have these books years ago. Like, he had an AF-15, he had a fucking first Fantastic Four, he had a bunch of this shit. He's just into statues now, so you know.
Does he
whatever.
still have those books?
No, I don't think so.
He traded them for statues or something, or sold them.
I think they're all gone. Yeah, I don't think he. I mean, I think he said that he sold them all. Yeah.
That is looking really dope, bloke. It's really awesome, man.
Yeah, I was drawing earlier. I was doing this guy
That's fucking awesome.
on
That's
the
really
one
awesome.
side, right?
That
And
is cool, dude.
then I figured instead of just leaving one side, I figured I'll just do something else on the other side.
God damn, I gotta get me a Loke. Shit.
Yeah, seriously, bro.
Right? Just Halloween night kind of thing, right? So I figured I'd just draw something, get away from just doing. Did I show you guys this one? That was finished?
That's what you were. Were you working on that? No, you did show me that.
No.
You
Yeah.
were working on something else.
So
on that.
this one was I just finished,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
that
awesome.
one I finished. The other one was the Detective Comic one. Was the one I
Yeah.
just like. That was for still 35 or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah, you were doing Joker or knife
Yeah.
on the cover or something.
Robin's getting poor Robin's getting murdered there.
It's fucking dope, dude. That is awesome, bro.
So you can see it's just basically acrylic, right? On the yellow,
Yeah,
it's just
but
acrylic paint, right?
that's cool, man.
So, I don't know if you ever heard of J Hood Creative Loke, but here's
Yeah,
one of
Jay.
mine.
Yeah, Jay. Yeah.
So he did that one for me. That's
I
Oh,
didn't think
nice.
I didn't think that was fucking drawn, Biggie. I thought that was
Yeah, that looks like a photograph, dude.
yeah, he
Dude.
killed it.
Yeah, he really, really killed it.
Until
Wow.
you told me that was somebody who drew that. I didn't know that. I was
Yeah,
it just looked like a magazine cover with Hulk Hogan on it.
yeah.
I know.
Was that did Jay use color pencil for that, or did he use acrylic paint for that?
I think that he used markers. I think he used markers.
Oh, so he used markers. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I basically a lot of this stuff I use like combinations of stuff. So
I don't know. I like a good art piece that is you can sort of feel in your hands. I think that's cool.
it's about the lighting, right? That's really what this thing is. It's like just slowly just doing
Oh, that
I would have to like check out some more of Loke's work to kind of like figure out what I think that I would want him to do. What do you think your favorite character to do, Loke, is?
I like, you know what I want to like. I want to like. My favorite characters are always the one that I don't get requests a lot.
fair. That's fair.
Right? It's always something like new or challenging, right? Like I could draw like Wolverine blindfolded. I could draw Venom blindfolded. I could draw, like everybody.
It's like going into a tattoo shop, right? You know,
Yeah.
Can I get a butterfly? Like, fuck's sake, fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it! Can I get some script? No, fuck.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
fine.
It's I like the odd challenges, like for example, CJ's in the thing, right? So
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, I haven't drawn Elvira, right?
Ooh.
So maybe I want to do Elvira, that kind of stuff. Where I haven't done like still like what was it the Judge Death guys? You don't get to draw a lot of those, right?
Callie's asking about Earthworm Jim. How about that guy?
Oh my god. I remember that on was it Nintendo or Sega?
Yeah, some fucking Nintendo. I was when I went to look for the first appearance of Earthworm Jim, I was pretty blown away. I'm like, get out of here. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that. I was pissed.
So we were talking about if you would slab books and shit, and I got 3 books I'll show that people tell me I should slab, right? And I I don't think I'll ever slab them, but I probably should. But so I got an Avengers 1.
What do you think the grade is on that big? He 1 at 2?
Oh wow.
I'm hoping a 2.
Yeah. I don't see why you wouldn't slab that. That's a pretty good book to slab.
I got ASM 14.
Yeah, you should also slab that.
It's a pretty good one. And then my 181 don't have a stamp, but I mean it's still, you know.
That'll come back a
181.
purple label, so you know you can slab.
It would be green. Or you could have them blue though. You just got to take a grade bump down.
Yeah.
If I wanted to. I don't really think I will, but people say like you should see. I like the mystery in it all. You know, like my Avengers 1 could be a 1, it could be a 2, it could be a 2.5, it could be a 0.5. Who fucking knows? But it's mine. So
Well, yeah, you're not planning on selling it, so that argument only comes up when you got a buyer saying, "Well, is it really worth $500 or $1,000? What grade is it?"
yeah. But I guess if I got slabbed, it'd be the same thing. Like even if I got slabbed, like it wouldn't make me rush to sell it more.
No.
Like I would just have it slabbed. But it's kind of a waste of money, in my opinion. Also, it's like when you have a big book like that and it costs a couple $1,000, I think they charge you $400 or $500, $300.
No, they don't. No, I did my Marvel Spotlight 5, and it was just a regular price they charged me. They didn't charge me any extra or anything.
Really? It didn't, how much was it then? Like $50?
Yeah, like all together with shipping and everything. Yeah, about $50.
Damn.
That's Canadian. I think it's a little cheaper in the States.
I wonder why. Like I saw Bigby talk about trying to slab a FF1. He said it was like $700.
FF1's a little different, and it depends on the grade. If you're getting $100,000 or something, they're going to take 10%.
Yeah, I think it's only like 8,000, like at the most, like 8,600.
What's 10%? What's 10% of 8,000? That's a lot of money.
Well, I mean, 25 to 3,000. That you just had a book that's worth 25 to 3,000. That's
I honestly hate that practice from CGC. I think it's like the mob. They're like, oh well, I want a taste of this book because I graded it for you, and I don't think that that's fair. It should be priced the exact same as any other grading. But that's my gripe against CGC. Why do they get to, oh, your book's worth $1 million, so I get to fucking, I want some of that. That's not fucking right. Fuck off. It's not your book.
He's saying it costs $175 for X-Men 1. That's not horrible, but that's a lot of money.
It's a little more expensive. What grade was your X-Men 1?
Journeys, I think he's got like a 1.0 or 1.5, I would guess.
Yeah, it seems like a lot even for that, for a 1.0 or a 1.5. It seems like a lot.
You guys are talking about the original X-Men 1. You're not talking about Jim Lee, because I got like boxes full of that.
Yeah, I got like, especially of the wraparound cover. I think I got 13 or 14 of those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be rich, boys.
So I saw you on Circumstances, but I didn't get to watch. But I am curious. I didn't want to ask you in text. We've been talking about your finger. How the fuck is it okay if you let us know how the fuck you smashed it?
Yeah, I was picking up a piece of wood, like a railroad tie, and a buddy was on the other end, and we were just putting it onto another piece of wood, but it rolled off that piece of wood, and my hand was underneath it, and it was really close to the floor, and it just fucking crushed it, bro.
Oh
God, dude.
Yeah, it didn't. It crushed. Yeah, it crushed it so it burst wide open like a balloon. It really sucked. Yeah,
so
it hurts like a son of a bitch, man.
It probably fractured your tip of your.
It did actually. Yeah, it broke the tip of my finger as well.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it really hurts a lot, but it is what it is. It's gonna hurt not getting paid from work. That's what's gonna hurt more.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to work while it's fucked up.
No, not at my job. No.
Fuck.
I'll go in on Friday and maybe do some light duty shit, but there's not much I can really do.
Damn, that is fucking not good.
No, bro, it sucks. So I'm probably gonna have to have a pop-up auction just to help pay the rent.
Damn, it's gonna take a 2-3 months to where you're able to operate, I would guess.
I'm a quick healer, like Wolverine. 4 to 6 weeks, we'll be fine.
That'd be good.
I gotta go see a plastic surgeon on Thursday and all sorts of stupid shit.
Oh man.
Did they stick needle on the tip of your finger and inject that fire-filling liquid? I don't know.
No, the tip of my finger actually has a hole in it, and fat is oozing out of it as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it's been bleeding. It's probably good because it gets the infection out. Like blood is good usually.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be. They gave me a tetanus shot, which is good enough.
Was it metal? It was. You said it was wood, but
It was
could get
wood,
dirt
but the wound was pretty dirty. But the guy he thought it was dirt on the tip of my finger. I'm like, no, man, that's dried blood and fat.
Man, my mom, she had a window come down and it sliced all the way like a guillotine.
Oh,
It was a storm window just smashed down, and it looked like a big ass blister for a long time, and it was like a nub. And now it completely came off. So now at the tip of her finger, it ain't like callus; it's like brand new skin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, mine they were able to sew the flat back on because it looks like a big, like the whole fingerprint area it looks like a big U. It just like it's a big flap of skin. So they sewed that back on, and I just gotta wait, I guess.
I know when it happened to my mom, I'm like, why does the world have to be real? Why can't we just go back and make it not happen? You know, like it's fucking sucks. Like if you could take back 30 seconds of
Bro,
what happened
I
today.
literally said before this, I'm like, so we're done in here, right? We should just and no, let's just move these couple pieces of wood first. Like fuck, if I just hadn't done that, and I'd be all right.
It's always some shit like that, bro. Golly.
Yeah, man, it sucked.
Gotta be thankful for what you got. You know, people bitching. I'm over here. Oh, I wish I had an X-Men 1. Like my buddy fingers fucking smashed.
It's fucked up, dude. Yeah, it hurts some ears too. I can't do shit. I can't write my name. I can barely roll a doobie, which is really actually the painful part of it all. Look, would you what are your commissions? What do you do for commissions?
well, that varies on based on what it is that you want me to do, right? Like if you want me to do a complete wraparound, it ranges from like if it's just something like this, I usually do about 100 $150.
Yeah.
Depending on the cover, and that's if I have the cover to provide. That's the only thing, right? But if you're looking for like 9x12 stuff, I did
I'm definitely looking for a comic book, like something like that you're working on there.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of
give you a deal, buddy.
I'll give you a shout on the old.
Yeah, that's not a problem, buddy. I mean, like if you got covers and stuff, you know.
Have you been on Nauman's channel before?
Yeah. I jumped on once in a while. Whenever Nauman's comes on, I think the first time that I knew about you guys was actually when I'm working in Whatnot, and I was I was co-hosting with Duke Comic Art. He's a buddy of mine. He's just down in Windsor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing a lot of like cons together. I've been seeing him at cons. Then we became friends that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got me onto Whatnot, and I was starting to stream and starting building up my audience, and I saw CJ jump in. So normally I follow everybody back that jumps in just to try to get them to follow me. Mm-hmm. Then I saw CJ and I linked that and it came to Insomniac, and that's when I start noticing you guys all over. And I was like, I did not know there's this YouTube community. You know what I mean? Like I've seen like unboxing videos, but I didn't know there was like a live
there's a whole community of us, that's for sure.
Yeah, which is I thought that was kind of cool because I was like, okay, well, I haven't collected for a long time, right?
Mhm.
But I've been doing like sketch cover because I don't have the room for the collections. Like all I got is like maybe 5 long boxes of old stuff from the 90s and the 80s, right? That's all I
enough,
got.
man. That's a better collection than what does Comic Tom has like a little
Yeah,
tiny.
but I got those weird eclectic. Yeah,
Yeah.
remember like Alien? Was it the one? They look like snakes. I'm trying to remember Alien something. Those guys, remember? And I got like the Epic magazines and
Oh
the
yeah, I love the epic stuff that came out in the late 80s, 90s, I think, early 90s.
yeah, they're hodgepodge, right? Like I got bits and pieces of Frank Facetta's books and from
Yeah.
heavy metal and all those little things.
You got some.
Then remember, yeah, that was the thing I got at home, right? And it was just trying to get any of this stuff. Then I was like, who's collecting? I want to know what's going on. Because every time I go into like comic shop, there's like all these X-Men book, and I just don't want to start. You know what I mean?
I honestly I stay away from X-Men. It's too big. I know Giant Comics with kids will probably hate me for it, but I didn't read it. And now going into it, I'm like, it's just too much, man.
Yeah.
Everything
There's
is an
so
X
many
title.
titles.
Yeah, there's like 16 X titles, man. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah. They were going through like I was trying to get like they were doing like DC was doing like the new 52 or something.
Yeah.
And I was lost. I just gave up after like a few issues. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. There's all these backstories that I don't want to go back to.
Yeah, because they had to fix all their bullshit because they've done it a bunch of times now. It's awful. That's DC keeps trying to rewrite their history in there.
Yeah.
They always bugger it up. Fans hate it every time. But I guess New 52 is pretty hot right now though because of the Batman stuff.
Yeah. But again, it's just trying to like, where do I start? Do I jump in? And it was like all these backlogs and stuff. And I said, never mind. I'm just gonna. Then I spotted sketch covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, what are these?
Yeah, you must enjoy those. You're an awesome artist, so that must be right up your alley, I would imagine.
I'm figuring out the covers. Not all covers are the best. Like these ones here, like I use a little bit of paint and you can actually see the paper start to.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do is I have to put a t-shirt press on this for like 30 seconds.
Right.
And just throw a bunch of books right on top of it right after, right? And that will flatten out.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. Tonight was just trying to figure out, like, I was on Whatnot drawing monsters, right? But I don't think anybody's interested because Johnny Desjardins was in and he's running, so he's grabbing all the views. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a book by Johnny Desjardins. I got a Crow cover by him. And
yeah. I mean, it's just that.
What's his name? Won't even sign it.
Yeah.
I met James O'Barr, and he's like, "Sorry, man, I'm not signing that." I was like, "Fuck."
What the fuck are you talking about, Callie? Stan Lee X-Men is so boring. Well, Stan Lee X-Men is also Jack Kirby X-Men, and I think it's fucking rad as shit, but whatever, bro.
Yeah, but even John's Comics with Kids who reads X-Men is like, yep, you're right. It's boring as fuck. Might not be. The art's still good. Jack Kirby's art's still good. It's not a good story, I guess.
I think that I don't give a fuck how many X-Men books John reads. I don't agree with him. Like
That's fair.
The fucking X-Men are rad as shit.
I don't know. Like I read X-Men a bit in the 90s when it came out, and obviously I was the show was great, and the new one was really good too, actually. So.
I mean, even if you story wise, whatever, like the art just by Jack Kirby is enough for me to be like, it's rad as shit. Like they had some good ideas and shit came together pretty well. I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but ultimately there was some really good shit going on. Like the idea of mutants and all that came from Stan Lee. I mean, we can't argue with that. So,
oh yeah, you're not gonna take anything away from Stan Lee or Jack Kirby or William Gaines or any of those guys. They're all really important to comic history.
I'm reading Fatal Attraction right now. It's okay. I know people love John Byrne X-Men. It's all right. None of this shit besides. I think that Stan Lee's and John Burns and Claremont's and all they're about even par. It's not like anybody blows anybody out of the water, but
Everybody loves the Claremont run the most, is what
it
I
seems
always
that way. Yeah.
Wow, I grew up with the Claremont run,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
Extinction Agenda, those guys, or whatever.
And honestly, I think that's half of comics. Nostalgia is what really does it for people. Like
Right.
nostalgia is the biggest drug out there, man. People are willing to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for it. Sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. Like, oh, I need that Batman one. I need it.
It's true, man.
It's very true. Nostalgia is a huge deal.
Yeah, it's like my boy D. He thinks Jurgens is the best Superman. I used to say Kurt Swan was my favorite, but now it's Jack Burnley. Like, and I'm coming to find out that Jack Burnley didn't just do fucking Superman art. He did some really gnarly Batman shit. So I might have to get me a Batman. Well, I already got one. I got World's Finest too, but like just Batman Jack Burnley would be sick too.
Yeah, I need a Neil Adams Batman, like a good one. I have a couple of it. Just they're not like, I just want, the iconic Neil Adams stuff. So
Oh yeah.
got to get that. What is it, 251 or 252 or whatever it is?
Yeah, John's got my favorite X-Men, Neil Adams, the Sentinel. I think it's like 58 or something. It's a really good one.
I just like his work. It's dark. It's cool. Not like Loke's amazing work. It's dark and colorful all at the same time.
Just bringing back some of the shadows.
I dig it, bro. I dig it, man. It looks fucking great.
If I could fucking draw and get like $100 a cover and shit, dude, man, I would fucking like. I would like.
You'd be drawing all the fucking time.
I would sell them motherfuckers and get me a fucking a bunch of monster books, but that's just me, man. I would love that. Make a little living out of it. That'd be cool. I knew this one guy, 36 Chambers. He did my when I leave a comment, I'll leave one now. He did my little user tag. I'll put 36 in the comment. So there it is. He did that little wrestling guy for me. It's like a little baby Biggie Shack. And he's a tattoo artist. And he did comic books for a while. Like he came and sold some covers. He made about $100 a cover too. And he just went back to doing tattoos and makes a living out of it. It must be kind of neat, like be able to get money off of art and shit.
Something that you love, yeah. Absolutely. That's the goal, right?
My goal is to do this full time if I can. That's the only thing, right?
Have you I don't know much about your backstory, Loke. Have you worked for any of the big companies or whatnot?
Yeah, I did a bunch of retail covers.
See, that's what
know what I mean? Like 500 here, 500 there. I did a couple fan expo stuff. I did some color work for. I keep getting this wrong. I think it's Mark McKean.
Okay, yeah.
He did the Batman series and all the other stuff. He did I think it was exclusive for like Fan Expo Boston or something. And it was like Deadpool and Batman. Batman's like beating up Deadpool. And Deadpool's like wearing a shirt that says like I love Martha, like a heart shaped Martha. Right?
Why did you say that name?
Right? So there was like let me see if do I have it? Give me a second. I think I have. It's 11 by 17. I know I did that.
I think I made fun of part of that movie so many times.
I tell you, the fucking funny thing about Deadpool right now is that out of all the Marvel comics, I think that they're having the most fun with the Deadpool and Wolverine series is my favorite. And then the team up is fun, and just the regular Deadpool series, they're just kicking ass. Like compared to Amazing Spider-Man and even the Ultimate shit, like Deadpool was just fucking shit up.
I think the Deadpool is the property that's making them real money right now. So they're willing to throw a lot of money at those books.
Yeah, he's got like 5 series going right now.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what you're looking at. So I did the color work for this, right?
Awesome,
so the right there is
Yeah,
Keaton, DeRoy. So what happened was the pencil work was done by Makina. Then it went to Jay to do the inking. Then it finally hit my desk because this was all digital, right?
Right.
He scanned it and all that stuff. So it came to me, and I did the because I read the little synopsis that they gave and what it was. So the
Right.
idea is this is like, here's a little backstory. So that is supposed to be a selfie stick.
Okay. All right.
So when Jay inked it, he thought it was a katana, a sword.
Oh, I see.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the idea was I did the effects for the rim and all the other stuff. So me and him were going back and forth. I sent them the stuff I was inking, and it goes, wait, that's not a sword, that's a katana, right? Or
Yeah.
that's a selfie stick. He goes, no, that's a. So me and him were like this. Well, the art director's like, where's the cover? Where's the cover? So we went on like the Facebook chat, and I pulled him in. So we did that. And he goes, no, that was supposed to be a katana because that was the whole thing. So that was a little stuff like that, right? I do these limited run kind of stuff. Like this was supposed to be a retail cover.
Okay. That's
right.
cool.
It's all digital, right? It's all digital.
Yeah.
Like I punch these things out after a while, right?
Yeah, but digital work is still artwork. You're still.
Yeah, but I wish I did it traditionally so I can have the actual piece to sell.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? It's like a lot of that, right? So that's the kind of stuff. Yeah.
Crazy.
Then I do a lot of variants.
I don't understand what you mean by variants. Like legit comic book variant? Like what the hell does that mean?
Not like it will be like retail variants, but a lot of the time I do a lot of cover variants for different companies. Sometimes
Damn.
a lot of it is for like indie books, indie publishers and stuff.
Okay.
They don't have the money to pay me sometimes, so I just ask in return for like, I don't know, like 30 bucks, 40 bucks to put, so I can have at my table. And it's easy for them to do that, right? So
right. And then you can sell those books, I'm guessing. Nice.
Yeah. So you end up with like stuff like that, right?
Nice.
How long have you been doing art? Your whole life, I would guess.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. Like the way I got into it was like I was supposed to be like an architect guy, and I didn't like architect because there was a university down here in Toronto because it was called Ryerson, and back then it's now called like Toronto Metro something University or something.
They changed Ryerson University? Jesus.
Yeah, it's TMU now, right?
No respect for history, eh?
Yeah. So the idea was I was supposed to be an architect, and because my dad was a stonemason, and I was supposed to be taking over the family kind of business, kind of like design the house and he builds the house kind of thing.
Right.
So this is around 89. And I went in 6 months in, didn't like it, kind of didn't tell them I dropped out. Walked down the street around the corner. There's a college called the Ontario College of Art. Got in, and I was doing live. This is back then where they were pre-computer, so we were doing live drawings and paintings and stuff that I loved.
Right.
Parents decided to come visit me, and I'm not there.
Oh no!
So they found out. So they yanked my ass out. So I ended up working like the rest of the summer with my dad, like just north of here. We call Cottage Country, right? Aurelia and all those places. I was just helping him with building cottages and building decks, and
Oh, I'm in Canada. I know exactly where you're at, my man.
Yeah, just north of here, just doing that kind of stuff, saving up money. Then I saw a commercial for a US-based company, school, DeVry Technology at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And I said, you know what? I like computer. This is new. So I applied, got in, graduated with a. I fell in love with it. It was like engineering, right?
Yeah.
Asian guy engineering. So I graduated with an electronic engineering degree, and just right on time around 91, 92, that's when the .com thing was happening.
Sure.
They were hiring us right out of school. Like they just needed engineers, they needed stuff. And I happened to end up at Sony, and they were building color monitors. Okay. So for any of you youngins out there, the monitors back then were grayscale.
Yeah, they were like blue and white almost. Great. Yeah, weird.
So they were building color monitors. I worked with them for about 6 months, and I just didn't really like it. Then there was a smaller company, a startup that was outside of Toronto here, a place called Markham. It was just industrial complex, and they were brand new, and it was called Digital Processing System, or DPS. But they built this thing for an Amiga computer.
Okay.
It's like the first graphical high-end like computer with full like 256 colors, or not even 256 colors. It was like 32 colors or something like that. Something ridiculous, something really cool. And the Amiga computer was, there was this company that was building, it was called NewTek. They were designing a piece of software, 3D software.
Cool.
And they were trying to get it onto the TV set. So we ended up building these things called a frame store, like basically a video card that exports to TV. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's how I got into it. And it ended up being the first project that I helped develop and worked on was Babylon 5.
Oh, cool. I watched the shit out of that show.
Remember all the graphics?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Remember how bad it was? But that was like...
I'm not going to say it was bad. It was the time. It was the
time. So that's how I got into the stuff, because I ended up like, because on my spare time between doing installations and teaching and doing this stuff with the effects guy, somebody spotted my sketchbook. So I was drawing anyways. I was trying to draw comics. I was trying to do, all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And second unit director asked me if I knew how to draw storyboards, and I had no idea. I knew how to draw comics. I just didn't know how to draw storyboards. So I ended up working for the art department. That's how I got hired, because I knew the digital side, and I knew they're teaching me how to break down scripts and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's how I got into it. And it ended from there. When they moved my ass out to California, I ended up working for these effects houses.
That's
from the different movies, from Star Treks to, and it was all digital stuff. It was just a slow crawl, but everything that I did out there was eventually like, we had to figure out how to do stuff. I ended up like working for like doing stuff for Blizzard, for World of Warcraft, and before World of Warcraft.
That's really,
and yeah, stuff like that. That's how I got into it, because I had the creative side and the digital engineering side. That's what they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before we were given a title like effects artists and stuff like that. We were just the art department.
Nice.
Right? That's where I learned how to paint, was when I was doing stuff for like Rhythm and Hues, Phil Tippett, the effects guru.
Yeah.
I worked on that. They taught me how to do painting on glass with acrylic paints and stuff like that. So yeah.
So I did.
Yeah, that's how I got into it. I've been drawing like for a long time. It's just
hello to Christina Payne. She had some sadness in her life recently. I hope you're well.
Yeah. Hopefully I heard about that too.
I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah.
So one more thing about the Kirby and Stan Lee. So like, I can't point at like a specific X-Men Kirby or Stan Lee. Maybe X-Men 1 is kind of a good story, but I think X-Men 5 is probably pretty good too, or X-Men 4. But like Hulk 2. I've read Hulk 2. Mind blowing, great issue. It sets everything up. That book is really good. The Fantastic Four Kirby and Stan Lee stuff together, it's fucking magical. Like Fantastic Four 48, 49, 52. I read all three of them. Those are like some of the greatest single issues I've ever read. I just haven't cracked open all of the X-Men Kirby stuff yet. Like I flipped through some of them and they seem to be really good. But I think if I sat down and read them, I'd probably have a better opinion about it, maybe worse. But the Claremont stuff, you know, I've read some of it and the art ain't there for me. The story's okay. The Byrne stuff, art's really good if you're into like more of the female artistic style. Like he drew chicks well, in my opinion.
I thought he did the Superman one was pretty good. The Man of Steel, that's the one I loved.
I like that one too. Yeah, he did. Byrne's right up there. People say after Kirby died, Byrne was the new best ever. You know, I don't know if I agree with that, but that's a lot of people.
He's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Pretty good.
I like Bill Sienkiewicz too. He's pretty good.
So when people just say like Kirby and Stan Lee's boring, I'm like, that's some of the single issues I've read of theirs are top tier for me. And I mean, not X-Men, but just other shit. Like it's so good.
Well, it's easy to say when somebody comes up with an amazing idea like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and they have to write the incarnation of it. It's easy to say that their run's not as exciting as other runs because other runs are filling in gaps and, you know, sort of making a new story out of it. They're not creating it. They're just sort of filling it out. So I can understand that. It's not easy to make and create something that's amazing like Fantastic Four and then Spider-Man and all these other great stories that
I think that's why I give Stan Lee and Kirby so much more credit too, because they weren't just making a story; they was creating characters.
Yeah, I think
that's important to me. Like, what I guess Claremont created quite a few with the new team.
Yeah, he did. But I wouldn't give him Kirby and Stan Lee creation credits. You know, like, those guys created some of the biggest superheroes we have.
I mean, I think like Claremont and all this stuff brought like a new way of telling stories from, right? Kirby was telling the story of based on that time. Stan Lee was the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I think Claremont came in and says, I could do these twists and turns, and I think that was the birth of the crossovers. Remember those things?
Something
jumping all over the place? That drove me nuts.
A little more relatable to the then and now, right? Like 70s kids versus 60s kids versus 50s kids.
Yeah, so you know, that's what my feeling is in that space, right?
Yeah, like, I think you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right about the part where, I mean, Claremont, I mean, he created a few characters, but they weren't, you know, Stan Lee and Kirby was the one that created the universe to start.
They really did something special with that. Yeah. You can't take anything away from them.
Yeah,
that's why I give Kirby so much more credit than even Stan Lee, because really, Lee, I mean, he does a good story, but he was borrowing from Doom Patrol, and Kirby did that with other people before Stan Lee. You know,
Marvel's ripped off DC,
right?
Forever. What they do.
But saying all that, like John has read more X-Men, and if he says he likes that, then we just like different things, and
that's all.
A lot of people agree with them, and I'm just not going to say Kirby was a slouch though. Like I can't say he's boring. That's just all I'm saying.
I completely understand, brother.
Stan Lee, even. I'm sorry, not Kirby.
Again, you gotta Stan Lee. He is what he created everything, man. Like Kirby was there to help bring his ideas to life, but it's a pretty awesome duo, those two.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I'm glad I got to talk to you a little bit. Good to see you, MJ, come through. MJ was on Jim Mintz, I believe. He helped co-host.
Right.
That must have been fun. Christina,
MJ,
Sicko.
yeah, I think I've seen him on. I think I can't remember whose show before. Yeah. He's like an English bloke, isn't he? A British bloke.
Yeah, people like his interviewing skills. He's very flattering.
Okay. All right.
I called him a nut fluffer
A nut fluffer. Nice.
because I'm a prick, but I meant it in a flattering way.
I don't think anyone would take that in the fluffer.
No, no, MJ's so nice that he accepted it as a compliment. But what it meant was like when he interviews, he's very flattering.
He's kind. I get it.
He's kind interviewer. Like if I was to I'm just an honest guy. Like MJ just saw me say that. I could have said, no, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna tell you I fucking said it. but fuck, I lost what for example, like if I did an interview with Jim Mint, I'd ask him a few questions, like it wouldn't be like an easy fucking interview. It'd be
but yeah, I don't know. CJ has a thing. He says like, I don't ask you want them to come back, or you want them to not feel attacked.
Yeah, I don't care if you come back. Like I just don't.
I want to know. I want to know the truth, motherfucker.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on. Like, I would probably ask, like, was the Tom and you split up mutual, or was Tom just tired of your shit? Like, what's your fucking
were you not pulling your weight,
like?
MJ? What's going on?
Yeah. I would just ask some weird shit, but
fair enough.
I'm a weird guy. Anyways, we're gonna wrap up, man. I hope I didn't run off anybody with my over exuberance. I do appreciate all y'all, and I think MJ does a good job at interviewing.
Yeah, no, he's good, man.
Yeah, Jim Mint's cool too. He knows what gets the people clicking, so I like Jim Mint, and I like everybody, man. So pop culture is cool. I'm just more of a comic side of the shit. I want comic books. I don't care about TV shows and what's trendy as much as other people.
The TV shows, but yeah, I'm more into the comic side of it too, Biggie. I like the art. I like the books. It's a fading thing though. Like, not there's not a lot of kids left to enjoy this kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Well, thank you, Loke. This is the first time I had you on, man. I hope you come back.
Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Bleeker, so sorry about your fucking finger, dude. I felt so bad, bro.
Dude, it hurts like you would not believe.
I fucking hate it for you, bro. I really do.
It sucks.
I remember when my mom smashed her finger, bro. I could like literally feel the pain.
Ah, dude. Taylor would blush if he was around me when this happened. I was not in a good frame of being, I'll tell you that. I told my boss, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking swear.
Dude, I feel like I'm probably gonna like think of you at a certain point where it has nothing to do with you, and I'll be like, man, I bet his finger hurts right now, dude. Like I fucking hate that for you.
You would be correct. I always appreciate being on here, Biggie. You know that.
Yeah, man. So
I don't get to come on as often as I'd like to, but I still do the Friday show and try to come on whenever.
Oh, you do fine, bro. No worries, man. You do great. All right, so catch us on book club tomorrow. We're doing Fatal Attractions. Is that what it's called? Bleak Fatal Attraction, right?
Yeah, I think you're doing Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, we're doing the book where Wolverine gets his shit. It's the main book tomorrow. So if you enjoy that story, I think I'm gonna do a promo for it. Try to get people riled up. Kind of like how Professor X calls his team together. That's what he does in this book. He's like, I need you, my X-Men, my team, I'm gonna do that for my team, which is Matt Likes Comics, D-Runk, and Comic Collector Allen, and we're gonna dissect this issue. So
nice. I prefer to blow into a conch shell myself. Team assemble.
I'm gonna give one little tidbit before we go of the book. This is the first issue that I know of that Professor X gets in his exoskeleton, dude, and he's walking around. It's kind of cool, right?
I don't understand why Professor X isn't in an exoskeleton. I get it, but like they got Hank fucking McCoy. They got all sorts of people over there. I think they can make an exoskeleton for Doc.
Well, so Colossus left the X-Men and he went to the Acolytes with Magneto, right?
Yeah.
So I think Professor X, well, he already had Quicksilver, which is Magneto's son. So it's kind of like this whole. It's an interesting story because you have people from each side flip flopping. Well, since Colossus is gone, Professor X is like, I gotta lead this team, and his girlfriend from the cartoon is the Excelliites, where the fuck the really advanced alien race.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They got the exoskeleton. He's had it for a while. He's just now using it, and he's going to help lead the battle. So it's a good issue.
All right, that's cool.
All right, y'all. Catch us tomorrow 8:00. See y'all then, dude.
Biggie. Biggie.